Welcome to Two Guys in a Comic Book. I'm Ulysses Campbell.
I'm Andy Hirschberger.
And, of course, you're probably wondering why our stalwart Patrick Michael Strange isn't here with us at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. But don't fret. He is actually with us in spirit. He is just elsewhere getting a special interview for you. So stay right where you are. Don't move a muscle. We'll be right back.
After these messages.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
You are as precious to me as you were to your own mother and father. I swore to them that I would protect you, and I haven't.
The twilight's fast gleaming.
The mayor's gonna dump him in the spring.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But he's a hero.
A war hero. This is peacetime.
You think this can last? There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. You and your friends better batten down the hatches. Because when it hits, you're all gonna wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.
What does that mean?
Rise.
When Gotham is ashes, you have my permission to die.
Welcome to Two Guys in a Comic Book. We're coming to you from Jeppy's Entertainment Museum in beautiful downtown Baltimore. Of course, I've got my good friend Andy Hirschberger with me, and I'm Ulysses Campbell, and we're at Two Guys in a Comic Book and ready to go. So, now, let's see. What is the big event that's coming up for comic book fans very soon? What could it be?
Flying mammal.
Winged rodents. Do I sense?
Mighty Mouse.
Actually, I'd love to see that, but no, wrong. It's the Dark Knight.
Oh, very nice.
The Cape I always sort of preferred him as the Cape Crusader. This Dark Knight stuff,
Well, I
left
think
me a little cold.
Nolan is trying to make it a little cold. The film noir Batman, and it's doing very well.
Where people are responding exceptionally well to this film.
I think that as a Batman fan, it's really nice to see that we're in an age that he has become possibly the most iconic of all the superheroes, individual superheroes at this point. Although when Zack Snyder gets a Superman movie out, maybe we'll see something different.
Yeah, shockingly so, though, because I remember, again, being, old guy when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I remember when Chris Reeve debuted in Superman the movie back in 1978.
And Man Can Fly.
Hey, and I did, but the thing with that movie was it made you so hopeful, optimistic about superhero movies. I mean, because this was I mean, the Salkinds really left it all on the screen there with what they did. And Richard Donner, I thought, did an incredible job of directing that picture. I mean, everybody was just great. And, you know, you felt as if you were on the cusp of some new fabulous thing that Superman was going to take you to. But as you pointed out, it turned out to actually be Batman that took us where we were trying to get to. So, you know.
Well, it is a shame. The Donner film is, in my humble opinion, and maybe this is showing my age as well, the greatest of all the superhero films. I mean, hands down, I've never been as overwhelmed by a movie, a superhero movie, as much as I have that one. Now, I love the other ones, don't get me wrong, but that one, it just...
I agree with you.
These, what do I say, origin stories. They're fascinating. Just the way the creative mind works. This is really
You know, and it's really something because, you know, you got to have that origin. On that note, we're going to have to break for a quick break.
Okay.
But don't you go anywhere because we'll be right back for Two Guys and a Comic Book.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Hi, I'm Steve Jeppy, and I'd like to welcome you to Jeppy's Entertainment Museum. In 1974, I quit my job as a letter carrier at the U.S. Postal Service and opened a small comic book store in the basement of a TV repair shop. Little did I realize that from that humble beginning would grow this incredible pop culture collection you see here today. At the center of that collection is the comic character, the Brownies, Buster Brown, Mickey Mouse, the Lone Ranger, Superman, Barbie. These are just some of the characters who've made a tremendous impact on our individual childhoods while at the same time shaping our collective experience. As you wander through these halls, you will see the history of the country and our changing society reflected in those characters and the media through which they entertained us. Why are these characters so important to us? Perhaps it is their power to distract us. They've brought us relief in times of trouble, like the Great Depression and World War II. Today, they help us escape the pressure and stress of our ordinary, everyday lives. But there's more to it than that. These characters have played a large and largely unrecognized role in our education. Batman comic books helped me to learn to read when I was 5 years old. Thanks, big guy. That experience fostered a lifelong love of reading.
Welcome back to Two Guys and a Comic Book. I'm Ulysses Campbell.
I'm Andy Hirschberger.
And you know who you are. We're still here at Jeppy's Entertainment Museum, and we were in the midst of a conversation about DC movies, and I liked where you were going, but I want to throw this in because we were talking about Superman and Batman and you know the iconic nature of these characters. And hey, don't get me wrong, I love the Avengers, I love Marvel Comics, but the superhero movie that I have always wanted to see is the Justice League of America. And I was so disappointed when we hadn't gotten to that yet, and I think that DC should be ashamed of themselves that they let Marvel come out with the Avengers before they came out with the Justice League movie, because it was all there to be had. We had Superman with Chris Reeve movie. You know, they had proven they could do Batman. There was an institutional memory that existed behind the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV series. We've just had a Green Lantern movie. The Flash was a TV series back in the early 90s.
Mark Hamill was on that.
You know, as the trickster. You know? Excellent memory there, Andy. So I don't see why we can't have a Justice League movie right now. I want it right now.
Josh Whedon, get that script going.
It sort of makes me sort of wax poetic about inspirations. You know? Andy, who did you find inspirational?
As a superhero or a general character?
Well, either. What was your greatest inspiration?
Well, for the superheroes, it was always Batman. It was always the guy who built him up from his bootstraps, classic Americana. Here's a man who was, even though he was from millions, he didn't use his money to become what he became inside. His spiritual character, this Avenger, to right wrongs. I always felt that was probably the most accessible of all the heroes. And whereas things have become not as clear-cut as they were when I was a kid, and they were never this clear-cut to begin with, he wasn't a vigilante in like the sense that he would go and kill. He would get take in and have incarcerated the people. So he was still on the side of what was moral justice, grew up to be moral justice.
Decided good guy.
And yourself?
Well, you know, as corny as it sounds, I've been a Superman guy, you know? I mean, Superman and Batman, but there was something about Superman, you know? I mean, he was the one who was going to be, you know, in the light and the sunshine and standing there to right wrongs and, you know, with this incredible power. And yet, for all that, inside, he was essentially a farm boy from Kansas. And, you know, with that, you know, simple homespun wisdom that the Kents gave him, you know, a work ethic, you know, and those were the things that I sort of found inspirational, you know, because, you know, who doesn't get excited by the thoughts of home and hearth, you know?
It's true, and he had a home to go to.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, not so lucky.
Yeah, but you know, they did share a certain common ground, in that, and I thought about this in Kingdom Come. You remember that fabulous work, you know, Watershed? But there was a point where Superman and Batman were talking, and Superman said, "Hey, Batman doesn't want to see anybody die." And, you know, for all the, you know, because Batman will play rough with you. He'll play mighty rough with you. But ultimately, that's all it is. He's just going to, he won't actually drop you over the side of that building that he's hanging you over.
No, unless he's the 1939 Batman. Then he's going to...
Yes, then he's going to drop you.
So if you see Batman in 1939, don't bet on living.
Well, he carried a gun back then, too, though.
Yeah, and then the Earth 2 Batman had one for a while, too, afterwards in the 70s. But that Earth 2 would never use it the way that we would expect it to. Anyways, so
well, and with that, Andy, we're going to take another break. Back to my partner in crime, my man on the road, The Dark Knight. Thank you very much for joining us. I've had a fabulous time.
I think that was...
I can't believe where the time goes.
It's
You know,
amazing.
it seems like we just started this.
It was like a few seconds ago, and now, boom, it's over.
I know, but it was a fabulous show.
I agree. I was very impressed. It just moved along smoothly.
Thank you much for joining us, and be sure to tune in again to Two Guys and a Comic Book. Bye.
Hasta la vista.
Baby.
I've been called Baltimore's biggest cheerleader. Guilty as charged. Heck, I even bought the City magazine. I was born and raised in Little Italy, an ethnic neighborhood just across the Inner Harbor from here. I love this city and all of its spectacular attractions. From the National Aquarium and the Science Center, to the Walters Art Gallery and Museum of African American History and Culture, to the restaurants of Fells Point and Little Italy, Baltimore has something for everyone. I urge you to visit all of those places and experience everything this magnificent city has to offer. But first, I'd like you to take a trip with me in my time machine to discover or revisit all the wonderful characters, friends I call them, that have shaped our popular culture. And don't be afraid to say, hey, I had that when I was a kid. I do it all the time.